Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to another video. This is a reaction to Lost in the Pond, and this one is 7 bird species I only encountered after moving to America. I've done a few animal related videos before and they always seem to do quite well. Plus I think it's just quite cool learning about wildlife and stuff, to be honest. But yeah, hopefully you're going to enjoy. Let me know some more videos you want to see in future. The audio's a bit high. And yeah, I'll be sure to do so. But links are in the description to my Patreon if you want to see extra reactions of mine. They get blocked on YouTube. Same for my Instagram, my Twitter for those who want to follow those. Let's just jump into this.
Anyway, these things are ridiculously small. I read a statistic today that said 10 of these weigh about the same amount as a slice of bread.
What? What is this bird? 10 of these... Okay, that's obviously like to get you sucked into the video, but I wonder what the actual hell's going on here then. 10 of these are the weight of a size of bread? A slice of bread. What the fuck? That sounds nuts.
Hello, I'm Lawrence and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos pertains to birds. And today I bring you a video that I've been wanting to make for a long time. Partly because it's spring and now felt like a good time to do it, but mostly because my cat wanted me to. You're an indoor cat. You only get to watch them from afar.
What is...
Which in many ways is worse. And the video...
What is it with, like, why are some cats indoor cats? I don't know about this. What is it that some cats are just indoor cats? Are they just not allowed outside, or is it they don't want to go outside, or what? I don't actually know, like, why, but if anyone knows, let me know, because I'd be interested in seeing why.
Question is 7 birds I only encountered after moving to America. Now, for all of the bird enthusiasts out there and Uncle Toby, this is not an exhaustive list of every single bird that is native only to North America. It's a list that's personal to me, alright? These are species of birds that I personally never grew up with in Britain, but came to know and love in a sort of Dr. Dolittle way after moving specifically to the Midwest. But keep in mind that the bird population of the United States is so vast and diverse that the more I travel around this country post-pandemic, there'll be a part 2 to this series, and a part 3, and a part 4, and I've just realised there could be diminishing returns. Basically, if your favourite bird didn't make this list, it's because either A, they're not native to the Midwest, or B, I hate them. And so without further ado, here are 7 birds, as I'm definitely not going to do that again, that I only encountered after moving to America. One of the most striking birds on this list is the cardinal, or should I say the northern cardinal to be specific, to the extent that not including them on this list would have been a cardinal sin. And before you point at me and laugh and go, ooh, king of the dad jokes, there is a perfectly good reason that I bring up that religious phrase. You see, cardinal birds are named such because of their perceived resemblance.
Well, it doesn't look like a parrot, but it looks like some damn exotic bird. I mean, I guess it is, but this looks like nothing I've ever seen in the UK. God damn.
Cardinals of the Catholic Church.
Got a little hair as well, a little bit of hair on his head as well.
And it probably makes sense because in the United States there are more Catholic people than there are British people in Britain. But imagine if the 2 types of cardinals switched jobs. Imagine one of these trying to organise mass. It would be chaos. Nonetheless, northern cardinals, specifically the male iteration of this bird, which is by far the reddest, are something of a cultural symbol here in the Midwest. Not only is their name and image lent to St. Louis's famous baseball team, but the cardinal is the state bird of several Midwestern states, including the 2 that I've lived in, Indiana and Illinois. And I was informed only yesterday by my wife, old-fashioned AF, that we have a nest of cardinals down the street from where we live. Thankfully, the same cannot be said of these. Depending on the season, the bald eagle can be found throughout much of the continental United States. It is the American embodiment of strength, courage, and freedom. And inspired by this, I will use my freedom to go back in time and hand you over to Lawrence from 1 year ago. The bald eagle. Now, you don't usually find America's national bird hovering over the skies of Chicago. And outside of seeing this one at Indianapolis Zoo, I don't think I'd really encountered them in the wild until that trip out west. It was amazing. I was in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and I was taking one of those boat tours of the big lake. It was beautiful, right? But I wasn't expecting much more than just a nice, relaxing boat ride with beautiful scenery. Until the tour guide just casually pointed at the trees and said, oh, yeah, there's 8 bald eagles. What? What? Actually, that's amazing. Show me, make them fly. They're not remote controlled. They don't work like that. And I think one of them did. It hovered down toward the water because they generally populate themselves around large waterways because they're keen on fishing. And they're an absolutely stunning animal. I mean, they look amazing. I mean, look at those talons. But here's an interesting fact about them. They're not bald. right? The name actually comes from the fact that when that name was given, the word bald just meant white-headed. And all I can think is, has anybody told the birds? I bet they're really self-conscious.
There's an American robin.
To the United States,
what?
I was surprised to find that the country had robins. And that's because where I come from, they've specifically become synonymous with British Christmas cards. And just as I say that, Uncle Toby is frantically typing, "Why are robins on this list if you encountered them in Britain? Here's why. Despite their names and orange chests, the European robin and the American robin are not the same bird. In fact, it turns out they're not closely related at all. You see, the American robin belongs to the thrush family and the European robin to the Old World flycatcher family. The American robin was only named thus because it reminded European settlers of their robin. But this is like extending the label of human being to goats because goats happen to sound like us." What's next? A human robin? Don't comment, YouTube user Gotham City official. Anyway, the American robin can be found across much of the continental United States year-round, something it has in common with this. Ah yes, the mourning dove. If you, like I, move to the United States, you will almost certainly spot this bird from time to time. Not only is it native to almost all of the continental United States, but it's one of the most abundant birds in all of North America. What the hell?
That is the weirdest looking... I mean, it's not weird, but it looks so like hench. It's been chest day and stuff, and its neck looks so thick. That looks like some beefy-ass bird. Been lifting a couple weights.
When you do spot them, they'll most likely be sunbathing while perched, you know, a bit like my cat. In fact, come to think of it, my cat would definitely be the movie villain who says, "Morning dove, we're not so different, you and I." Actually, now I think about it, I can't imagine a dove being the protagonist either. Anyway, while mourning dove is its formal name, it does go by some pseudonyms. Depending on who you speak to, it might be referred to as an American mourning dove, a rain dove, or even a turtle dove. I thought turtle doves were something else. Anyway, speaking of names, that brings us on to this doozy McDoo's face.
Yellow rump.
The yellow rumped warbler, officially the most profoundly absurd name for a species in the observable universe. But when you analyse the name in detail, you realise it makes sense. It's a bird, it has a yellow rump, and it warbles. In fact, it performs a trill-like song of 4 to 7 syllables, a bit like me after a hot cup of Folgers. And funnily enough, I encountered this particular bird in neither Indianapolis nor Chicago for the very reason that you can't. You see, the yellow-rumped warbler spends the summer mostly in Canada before heading to the southern United States and Mexico during winter. But you can spot it in the summer months and sometimes year-round in the western United States, just like I did, in Boise, Idaho. Anyway, the yellow-rumped warbler is not the only North American bird to have its most striking colour in its name. The same is true of our last two entries.
Eastern bluebird.
That's right, bluebirds. Named so because A, they are birds, and B, they can get a bit down.
Oh.
But when I say bluebirds, I'm specifically referring to
the blues, yeah?
Eastern bluebirds. It's important that I mention that because other bluebird species do exist in the western United States. As the name suggests, eastern bluebirds are native to the eastern portion of the United States. They're a territorial bird, and you'll often discover them around open grassland, specifically in areas with scattered trees.
They're quite cool,
Uncle Toby, calm down.
Do you know what I find so weird? Like how birds can grow these, like, because obviously humans can't grow hair this colour. Like how they can just sort of grow a colour this side and then suddenly it just cuts off and then like this part of their body just grows completely different fur. I wonder why that is. There's got to be some evolution reasoning behind it, like all that sort of stuff, like how they've adapted to different things. Maybe it keeps them warmer or cold, or it's just something like that. But I wonder why and how this happens, because again, humans can't grow this colour hair. I just find it wild how birds can grow literally any colour possible.
In areas with
and they can grow multiple colours, and lots of birds do.
Trees. Now,
Uncle
Toby, calm down. I can feel it in my bones, right? He's currently typing, we definitely have bluebirds in England, because what about the song, there'll be bluebirds over the white cliffs of Dover, right? If you've been paying attention and watching this channel for quite a while, you'll know that I've addressed this issue before. That song, while sung by the very English Vera Lynn, it was written by American lyricist Nat Burton, who was unaware that bluebirds weren't indigenous to England. Anyway, the song went ahead and we won the war. That's all that matters. We've come from yellow to blue, and it's time to finish this thing off with ruby red. There are actually hundreds of different species
these are the
of
small
hummingbirds
ones.
in the Americas. But the most common, at least where I live, east of the Mississippi, is undoubtedly the ruby-throated hummingbird, which, as you've probably worked out, takes its name from the fact that it is a hummingbird and it has a really red throat. Are we sure
They're
that's
so
not
cute,
just flu?
man.
Anyway, these things are ridiculously small. I read a statistic today that said 10 of these weigh about the same amount as a slice of bread. But presumably because they're excessively aerodynamic, they're also incredibly fast. And they have to be. They spend the summer months in the eastern portion of the United States and the winter in Central America.
They move
and
a lot
another thing
again.
that aids their speed is the speed with which they flap their wings. Doing so 50 times per second, and it's not their mouths that make the humming sound, it's their wings. Now, as impressive as all of that is, there is a dark side to the ruby-throated hummingbird. They're a solitary bird, some might even say antisocial. I'm just going to say it, they are outright to other hummingbirds. Practically, the only time that they come together is to make little hummingbirds, and even then it only lasts for a few disappointing minutes. That's it for this episode. Let me know in the comments below.
God damn. Imagine like they're like the cutest looking ones and tiny, and they're the most like hateful ones. What? But nah, hateful isn't the right word, but you know what I mean. But yeah, this is a fun little watch. I do find just nature related videos or animal related videos quite interesting to see. But that fact about 10 of them weighing the same as like a slice of bread, that's surely not true. That sounds ridiculous. That sounds absolutely ridiculous. I don't know if it's particularly North American, but my all-time favourite bird has always been the chickadee. I love their black caped heads, and the sound they make. Chickadee, chickadee, dee, dee, dee. I don't even know what that bird is, but yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this reaction. If you want more of this stuff, let me know in the comments, and yeah, until next time, like, subscribe, peace.